Okay. I wanted to talk more about like text and streams of messages, and esports. All of those things are important in the making of Portal 44 and a video and of how Rindo Child communicates, especially in 2020. Um, there's there's changes happening in Rindo's process, and it's like it's easier for me to talk about it as that than it is for me to talk about my own work. And this just sounds crazy. I just listened to the last 15 minutes back, and I know that like if I was even talking in a gallery setting, it would be an hour long. And holy cow, my bed's a mess, and I'm here alone, fielding questions for myself. Like it's all very meta narrative dog happening right now. um, like I never would have expected this to be how I graduate. Like, well, I would have expected this to be how I graduate. That's the crazy part. So I ended off with bio design, and I want to talk about text and esports, and those two things go together. So esports is like kind of huge right now. It seems like I know that there's more programs being added every day, and that's something that I develop alongside of my video practice, because the changes that are happening there are the changes that affect the way that we communicate, that Keegan Davidson communicates with you, that anyone you know is using to communicate online, um, unless you know you're not connected. And in that sense, in that case, you wouldn't be watching this anyways. So an example of like streams of text would be coming down here, and online streamers will gather up their little posses of fools who sit down and type like whatever comes to their mind and hit send. And there's it's pretty easy to imagine how like you have all these strings of text coming through, that you could take those strings of information and check off lists of how they relate to current events or how they relate to, like globally. And so like Twitter is a huge thing about like just you can gather so much information and abstract it. And if you can abstract the information in the form of like a game, then that's even better. Because within the game, there's always objectives. There's always location. There's time. So I wasn't planning to share this, but why the heck not? We have a Glitch TV bot here, which I didn't make. It's been going on for longer than I have been making robots, but it's interesting to see the relationship between the bots that appear on the screen and the things that I output as art or just conversation. Not really a huge fan of video games. I think they kind of twist my head a little too much. I've been playing them as a means of research, especially like now being locked in quarantine. But that sucks. The games suck. The games are just violent and destructive, and I can't just handle it anymore. So I expose a lot of my personal information in this process, and I trust my backups and the bots to be a line of defense. I'm trying to get myself back on the screen here. Can you see me? Can you see me now? Sorry. Do we have another question? Okay, so I'll take you through Portal 44 now, since there are no other questions. Built-in microphone. I've been talking on the wrong microphone. So simple commands. I love pressing these buttons. Okay, simple commands. And so things like this can easily turn into games. And I think that there are a lot of problems with the game industry right now. Some of them being that they're too primitive. If it's too primitive, it's too basic. So when I play games on the PC, I make them revolve around personal, make them revolve around video that I've taken from my real life, and I try to place it on the screen and think about it as if it were being acted out in the game environment. Some of this just is research that I've done at school with like Renaissance art images, and I really enjoyed those and learned Latin when I was in high school, and so that in junior high. So that was like really exciting to get into those old texts. The book, the book.
But I'm no better.
I'll talk through this. I just have
keep
to
playing.
think of a question for myself right now, because I
What I write is
haven't been
told
actually fielding questions
to write
in
and
some time. I
smell
want you to
kid
make me think that
like a healing
there's these
with
texts
me.
coming up over here
When
where
we
I'm
find
fielding
love,
these
happiness.
words
This
and
pencil is heavy,
converting
like
them
the
into
weight of the world.
some output.
Shit I
So I
spit.
mean, maybe there doesn't need to be a
People
question. I can just
on
ramble
this
on.
notebook.
But
So sign
that
and
one,
10 more.
I don't
Yeah.
know when that breaks down. When does that break
All
down
my
and become
fucking
nothingness?
pain
When does it just
is
become
here,
noise?
but I don't
And if
feel it. The words are fading.
you stop for a minute,
Getting
it
words worse. But
just gets
no,
worse.
do, no.
This happens all the
Kill
time
me
in daily life.
from
I've
hue
just like
and shine.
found out that
Sign. I'm writing.
I
More Mel.
owe a bunch of money.
There's
Oh,
still
to who?
alcohol.
To who do I owe money? I'm
Where are
fresh
you, God?
child. I haven't even
Please,
left my
please.
house yet.
Sar,
No, when I
sake.
speak it as
Never.
words
My
that
stomach is bleeding,
are
but I'm
directed
still
in a way
drinking.
that's
Can I
addressing
even write?
question,
Be
oh,
there
well, who's Rindo
next
child?
day, tomorrow.
Then it's easy
Now,
to just go on
here,
and not turn it into
fire.
poetry. But when you remove
Fire.
that question of
Up.
who's Rindo child, then it's just
Help. Feels low.
madness.
Time's happening.
I'm
My
acting.
mind.
I'm acting out, but I'm still here.
Actually,
Melissa Oreski, if you want to ask me a question, go
I'm
ahead
lost.
right now. Nancy,
Straight.
Gary,
Up.
I miss my friend Kat. I miss my friend Kat, who helped me out a lot.
I'd.
Not with this particular
The
video, but
ballroom.
just stuff that
Same.
I have been working on for a long time.
I have
Like,
20 friends. They kill me slowly.
I could go through the credits on and on, Kari, but I won't. Sometimes I just want to cry because it all seems like it's changing so fast. It all seems like we're like we are becoming this cybernetic being, and I don't believe in that. I don't believe that I'm going to lose my body. I don't believe that I'm just going to be this fog on thing. What I believe in is like bringing unity to a language, bringing people together, and um, promoting a common good. And that doesn't require art. So sometimes I destroy things. These are not pieces of broken software. These earlier developments, everything's still intact. But as I move on, I find myself just picking apart these programs and turning them into dust. And so as I turn them into dust, it just feels like I fall more and more offline. Find myself, I'm Keegan. I changed my name in the directory to Keegan. I changed it back to Keegan, and for a while it was both. It was like people would be like, who's Rindo? Who's Keegan? Sometimes I'd just be nameless, and it would just change my perspective. So silence is key. Um, I don't think I have anything more to say about text and video games. You know, I started talking about video games and I don't even know where I went with that. And that's just like the nature of it, it seems like. So every once in a while I'll just be like walking around outside and I'll like, I was just here. I just got out of Spider-Man. It's like, that doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. These video games, they wreck your brain, you know? And machines are learning a lot through them. Machines learn a lot through them, I think. So we're all sitting at home playing, texting each other, or not. Like, I don't know how many times I've tried texting my friends, and it's just like, instant messaging is not real life. It's not real life. But I haven't looked at these in a long time. I probably looked at them last night. I've been dreaming a lot. That was the basis of my research in biodesign this semester was studying lucid dreams. Mm-hmm. So I was gonna record this in 4 parts. I already fucked up one take. True takes. And I'm just gonna keep going with this. And I'm gonna move on to another topic. I'm gonna take questions from. I got my text streams on my phone, so I'm gonna field questions and talk about the movie industry. Okay, movies. We all make movies now. We all are recording all the time. Everyone knows that, you know? You don't know. I feel trapped because everyone knows. Everyone knows that we're recording movies, that we're making our own personal stardom, and you can tap into it or you can tap out. And I'm all in. You're sure. My shirt is green, and if I wanted it to be a different color, I would have wore a different color. But we're all animating things on our phone, just tap, 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 record, and it all fits together as your life. It's stored in the clouds somewhere, comes down as rain. So how do I separate myself? How does the movie industry like shape 2020? How does it shape the globe? How does it shape the medical field, like developments that are happening that we can easily apply if only we knew how. So movies make that culture. You know, we consume so much media. We consume media constantly, and it doesn't happen in long segments. I bet. Who wants to sit down and watch a 40-minute YouTube video on their phone? Everyone does it. Everyone does it. You know, you're going to bed and you're up. Happens all the time. For me, at least, I'm up all night. Just swipe, changing, and taking one person's idea and plugging it into the next and passing it off. And so we swipe through these images, you know, at a frame rate of 24 frames per second. How fast can I twitch my fingers? You know, that's what it's all about. Like tap, 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 tap. Can you make a motion picture from your own decisions? Yeah, easy. And then what does that mean for us? What does that mean to the media that's not up to date, that's not formatted, that's not fitting the code? You know, and what does that mean about transferring large sums of data, large sums of information? How do you communicate an astronomical shift through media, through industrial process? At least that's what it always boils down to when I'm talking about it. And those are the words that go through my head. And so maybe they're twisted and maybe there's some parts that aren't connecting. I challenge you to parse those things out. Look at your work at home. Your work is as easy as sending an email, as easy as shipping a package. So there's no need to reconstitute the movie industry. The theaters are still there. The channels are still active. And the waves just keep coming through. But it's kind of ridiculous that they started off as these big illusion productions, like silent film. Used to scare people away. People would run. They see like these projections in a park of whatever the Muybridge, Muleboy, Mulberry Boys were doing. In Mother Russia. So I think like now there's a lot of illusion. There's a lot of like ghostly energy that's still like embedded in it, and we're all used to it. You know, we're all so indoctrinated into the industry, into the movie fields. You know, I love going to the movies. I'm fresh in it. It guides my life. It determines social parameters. I don't know who decided that. I didn't. I didn't say that, but you know, who are you trying to be right now? Just run up the bill, keep talking. 921. Cut. Any more texts? Any more questions? All right, I'll be right back to summarize.